Hi there, I'm Daniel Walker from Black Mass Appeal.
And I'm Tabitha Slander, also from Black Mass Appeal.
And it's just the two of us today. Simone is not here because it would technically be a misdemeanor if she was. But we do miss her. No Jesse either. That's why the audio sounds like this. But
Yeah, we're in a cave all by ourselves.
as a matter of fact, yes, that's how hard we are self-isolating right now because we care. We care that much.
Yes.
You are listening to something new that we're doing here just for the Black Mass Appeal YouTube channel, which chances are some of you before listening to this did not know existed. It's kind of like a lost piece of BMA lore, like something that Indiana Jones would dig up.
It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, exactly. Except the museums are all closed right now, too.
Oh, darn.
So this is your BMA-BCs. BMA-BCs are a new YouTube series where we are going to examine the Infernal Dictionary of Collin de Plancy. And probably people have heard me bring this book up on the show once or twice. Probably they've heard me mispronounce de Plancy's name once or twice as well. I'm still not sure. Is it de Plancy? De Plancy? I don't know. Someone will surely comment. All right, Collin de Plancy was a 19th century French writer and historian who specialized in the occult. And I think longtime unfaithful listeners know that occultism was a big thing in France in the 19th century. And that kind of makes sense. Like, if you read Eliphas Levi's High Magic, he talks about this idea that, like, magic and alchemy were just like the science of the old world that now we're rediscovering in the 19th century and are going to, bring into our enlightenment. We're going to revitalize with our enlightenment values, which I don't know how well that worked out for them, but that was kind of the idea. And Infernal Dictionary is maybe his most famous book. The book is a really weird, long, exhaustive, I would call it a dictionary of superstitions, where all of the entries talk about the strange or remarkable or magical properties of whatever the entry is. Sometimes he's writing about the names of demons or angels, or sometimes he's just writing about, here's the magic shit people used to believe about beans. There is an entry about beans. We'll get to it when
I'm so excited about
when we
beans.
get to the B section.
Yes.
Finally, this publishing company, Abracax House, put out this new edition, and then they put it on sale around Antichrist Mass last year. And then actually, some of the listeners all went in on it together to send it to us as a gift, which I am still overwhelmed by that gesture. I thought that was so sweet of them. And as something of a thank you for that, and also something to help us get some content for this channel, we're doing the BMA-BCs, which is just where I'm going to highlight, I'll call them the best entries. Best being a squishy term, strategically so. And I think sometimes the show is just going to be me. Sometimes it'll be me and my co-hosts. We'll see how it goes. How do you feel?
I feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, are you excited?
I am so excited.
You're so excited. Good.
I love talking about demons every day.
By the way, this full book is 1,000 pages, so we are going to get a lot of material out of this. But we're going to start with the A's, because that's how far I've read so far. Yeah, amazingly, that's the first entry. How did you know?
I peeked.
It's a solemn responsibility deciding which one we're ever going to start with, right?
Yeah, it's tough.
So I settled on, here's the entry, Abdil, parentheses, Abraham. I was expecting you to make a joke about how parentheses is a weird middle name, but I had to prompt you instead.
I wasn't even going to go there.
So who is Abraham Abdil? According to Collin here, he was a 16th century holy man who wrote a book called The Book of the Sealed Words in 1572. That sounds hard to read.
I don't know. I think it sounds metal as fuck.
In this book, he calculated who the Antichrist was and in what time period he must appear. His method consisted of taking passages from Daniel and from the Book of Revelation at random and assigning them each a letter from A to Z, its numeric value. A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. Let's stop and parse this process for a second. If you're wondering, like, wait, where is the bit that you skipped over that explains how this makes any sense? There isn't any. That's just what it says.
Yeah, this guy was just on one day and was like, got a hair up his ass about it.
Yeah, so he just picked pages at random and deciphered the secret messages in them with alphanumeric substitutions.
Guess what? I put some numbers in there.
Now, believe it or not, he did get an answer. At least according to Collin here, he said, quote, Abdil states that the Antichrist is Pope Leo X.
Oh.
Yeah, quite a twist, right?
It is.
Are you ready for the double twist?
Tell me.
Pope Leo X had been dead for like 60 years at this point. Now, this is kind of a puzzle. Why would you accuse the dead Pope of being the Antichrist?
He was a terrible pope.
Maybe, I don't know. I didn't read that far. I got as far in the encyclopedia as when he died. And I had so many questions. My guess is that this is a much safer move politically than accusing the living Pope of being the Antichrist.
Okay.
So if you must, I feel like you're playing it safe with the dead guy.
He's like, I don't know, he's got real shifty eyes. I think it might have been that one.
like how you can tell the dog is the villain in that Simpsons episode.
Yes, exactly.
Yes, it was always the shifty-eyed Pope the whole time. Okay, so I felt obligated to start with that one, but the one that I really love is on the next page, the entry for Abel. You know, Adam's son.
Sure.
Yeah, the guy who gets kind of the shaft in the Bible.
Right.
Or was it a rock? I don't remember how it's done exactly.
I think it's up to interpretation.
Now, you have to promise not to react until I'm done reading the entry. Are you ready?
I am also a stone.
Yes.
Just
okay.
like the one that hit Abel. I'm ready.
Collin says, Abel, Adam's son. Muslim doctors say he was 48 feet tall. you promised you wouldn't...
I'm sorry. I'm cool.
I think I should take it from the top.
Sure.
Abel, Adam's son. Muslim doctors say that he was 48 feet tall. They may be right if one takes into consideration a 55-foot-long mound that one can see near Damas, which is named Abel's tomb. Oh, good. That explains it. That explains the whole thing.
Yeah, I didn't need to react because you got to the end and now everything makes sense.
No. We're not done yet.
Oh, dear.
He continues. Rabbis wrote a lot about Abel. Yeah, I'll bet. They attribute to him a book on judicial astrology that would have been revealed to him by God, of course.
Sure.
Because,
they're friends. They're pretty close.
Also, you could go to school for that in those days.
Right.
Would have been revealed to him, and that he would have enclosed within a stone. I'm done now. You can react.
Enclosed what?
The book.
Oh,
in a stone.
But why?
Well, here's the thing. You remember in Starship Troopers where you're watching the news and the little hologram guy is like, would you like to know more?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to know more. But that's the problem with this book. You get to the end of the entry, and that's it. There's nothing else. So some of these entries go on for pages, and some of them are just a couple of sentences, and you just have to live. You have to live with whatever it is.
Citation needed.
Yes.
Let's just leave it at that.
I mean, to be fair, he does cite his sources here, but they're not necessarily that useful or things that we can check ourselves.
I do like the idea that Abel was so tall. That's how we got this information straight from God, is that he was up in the clouds and was like, hey, friend, can you help me out?
Oh, no, I thought it was just that he was writing about astrology because, he's, chill, his head is up there at, star level.
Yeah, there you go.
You can just check it out, right?
Yeah.
Now, the constellations must have looked weird from up there.
Wait, okay, gonna go on a little conspiracy tunnel here, but...
I'm loving it already.
Is he the Jolly Green Giant?
Ah...
I don't know why I get a Mr. Clean vibe from Abel and combo Jolly Green Giant.
I don't get, what do those two have in common?
I don't know.
Do you have a secret predilection for muscular, broad-shouldered advertising mascots that I never knew about?
No.
Really? How do you feel about the brawny lumberjack?
He's fine.
Or is it Downey? I think brawny is another Simpsons joke.
I think you're putting me on the spot.
Well, you brought it up.
I know. I just think someone named Abel. It's probably Abel Clean, right? Because he's able to clean. That's really where I went. It has nothing to do with brawny or scrubbing bubbles or anything.
You're scrubbing bubbles too? Oh man,
scrubbing bubbles are in the Bible.
We're learning. Are they? Yes. Where?
You just need to read it better.
That's a good point. I tend to skip over. Is it in the begats? I skip those.
Yes.
And like
Procter and Gamble begat scrubbing bubbles.
Leviticus, nobody reads that one.
Oh shit.
By the way, if you hear some commotion, that is because Tabitha's familiar has insisted on joining us, and I do mean insisted.
Yes.
She already walked across the keyboard and stopped the recording once.
Yep. And she's bound to do it again. Also, I think her foot is wet.
Now, we do have some good news, because there is a little bit of follow-up that might answer at least one of your questions about Abel. And it only comes like 2 pages later when we get to the entry for Adam.
Oh.
Are you ready for this?
I am excited.
Yeah, it's right with... Because, like, that's how the alphabet works. They're right next to each other.
Okay.
Adam, quote, the first man. His fall because of Satan's suggestions is dogma of the Christian religion. I like that. Satan's suggestions.
Sure.
They're not like temptations.
Yeah, doctrines.
Or manipulations.
Ooh,
it's more like, Adam, sit down.
manipulations.
I've got an idea. Also points to Collin for like not putting all of the onus for that onto Eve for once. That's kind of nice.
That is nice.
I guess it does sort of shortchange her in terms of her role in the story, but
Right.
yeah, what are you gonna do?
Well, I think Satan has a really convincing PowerPoint, so let's roll with it.
Collin continues, quote, they say that Adam was a giant of unbelievable size, 1 league tall. They also say that he was a wizard, a Kabbalist. Rabbis add that he was an alchemist and a writer. It was supposed that there was a will left behind by him. And finally, the Muslims still regret the loss of 10 fabulous treatises that God had dictated to him. I bet they do. I bet they do regret that.
Is it just me, or is Adam padding his resume?
I don't know. He's a 1 league tall wizard. I feel like he's probably got a lot going on.
He's
already.
A wizard that can write, like, pump the brakes.
My question is, how did they lose these books? If he's a league tall, imagine the size of them.
Oh.
They've got to still be around somewhere.
Right.
So that's why Abel was 48 feet tall. Because
maybe he let somebody borrow them and never saw them again.
yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah, that's always how it goes.
So this is why Abel was a giant, because Adam was a giant. In fact, if Adam is a league and Abel was only 48 feet, he's actually kind of coming up short compared to Dad.
Yeah, it's like, hey, shortstop, how you doing? How you doing? Haircut?
I have so many questions about this, but unfortunately, that's all it says.
That's all you need to know. Obviously, we have come to the end of the knowledge that we need for Abel and Adam.
Yeah, the whole family tree has pretty
It's
well
done.
filled out, actually.
Yep. Check it off. Wash your hands of the whole situation.
Okay, the next one is really, really brief. Right, like don't even blink or you'll miss it.
Okay.
We're in an audio format, so I don't know how that would work, but seriously, don't blink.
I can't stop blinking now.
This is the entry for Akbaba. Quote, a vulture who lived for 1,000 years by feeding on corpses, according to Turkish belief. I find that interesting because most vultures live for considerably less time by feeding on corpses. So I wonder what his secret was.
They thought it was the same one. It turns out it was just a bunch of different ones. This one's lived for 1,000 years. Like, no, that's like 3 generations ago.
Also, after 1,000 years, like, it's not the same people observing anymore. So they probably kept very poor records of vultures in those days. I think we're actually coming to the end of our time for the first episode here, even though we've only done like 3 entries into the A section.
Sorry, I farted around and talked about the Brownie Man for so long.
It's fine, we'll blame it on the cat.
There we go.
But no, it's good. It means we can do a lot of these. So I'm going to close strong with one, because here's the entry for Alastor. Quote, a severe demon.
Ooh.
It's not like you've got a light case of the demons here. It's like, no, this is a severe demon.
Do you have any salve?
Any salvation? No.
Nope.
No, we are all out. A severe demon, the ultimate enforcer of the sentences of the infernal monarchy. Wow, he sounds like a narc. He works as Nemesis. Nemesis is capitalized there. It's a Greek thing. We'll put it in the notes. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Zoroaster calls him the executioner. Others mistake him for the exterminating angel. That sounds like it's an easy mistake to make, actually.
Like Josh?
Who's Josh?
Like our friend Josh. He's an exterminating angel.
No, he's an exterminator.
Oh.
And he may or may not exterminate angels. I don't know.
Cool.
Like, he's a sadist exterminator, so that's how things.
No,
that's
see,
how,
that
might be
sounds
how
like
he
he's
rolls.
exterminating Satanists.
No, he's a maybe he's Alastor.
Oh, maybe.
Now, why do you think this is not a terribly interesting entry, so why do you think I'm bringing him up?
I don't know. You said he was an arc.
Yeah, that's true. But the reason why, so if this name sounds vaguely familiar, it's because if you go and you watch that Netflix movie, The Blacksmith and the Devil, remember that one?
Right.
Right, the Spanish Basque language folk tale about, as I recall, a blacksmith and the devil. And you'll remember that the villain in that movie, the Heavy, is a demon whose name actually is Alastor. And when we get to the end of that movie, and you got that metal as fuck Gates of Hell scene that I love so much, I've watched that full movie once. I've watched that scene like 12 times. And you see Alastor in like his full kaiju mode.
Right.
He looks exactly like the illustration here in this book. And I appreciated that because I'm like, they didn't have to do that, but that's like good research on the part of the filmmakers. I appreciate that. So I guess that brings us to the end of our inaugural BMABC's episode. Tabitha, what can people expect next time?
Well, if the song is correct, eventually we'll get to Next Time Won't You Sing With Me. So, between there, who knows?
Fuck, do we have to sing?
Don't you want to?
I didn't realize this was part of the deal. You're going to have to take point on that.
Boop, 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 boop.
Thank you very much for listening. We'll have a new episode coming up soon. I don't know what the schedule is yet. Right. Everything is new.
Yay! We're learning. Everything's exciting.
Everything's new except for this book, which is at least 100. It's just all 200 years old. Nice. There we go. All right. Hail Satan, everybody.
Hail Satan.